In a distant corner of the world, hidden beyond the mists of time, lay a magical land known as Acaria, where castles rose majestically from the depths of shimmering lakes and seas. These enchanted fortresses were not built by human hands, but grew from the water itself, their crystal spires glistening in the sunlight, and their foundations rooted in ancient magic. Each castle held secrets, and each lake that birthed them was imbued with its own unique powers, watched over by mystical guardians. Chapter 1: The Castle of Crescent Waters. Long ago, a young girl named Ilera lived in a small village nestled beside the Crescent Lake, which was known for its silver-blue waters that reflected the stars as if the sky had fallen into the lake. For centuries, it had been said that the lake was enchanted, and every 100 years, a castle would rise from its depths, marking the arrival of a new era of magic. One quiet evening, as Ilera stood by the water's edge, gazing into the crescent-shaped lake, something extraordinary happened. The surface of the water began to ripple as if stirred by an invisible force. Slowly, from the center of the lake, a towering spire emerged, followed by shimmering walls of translucent blue crystal. The castle grew with grace, its towers and turrets spiraling toward the sky, reflecting the moonlight in dazzling patterns. Ilera was entranced. As the castle reached its full height, a voice echoed through the still night air, "The time has come. The Castle of Crescent Waters has awakened, and with it, a guardian must rise." Startled, Ilera looked around, but there was no one in sight. The voice seemed to come from the castle itself. As if drawn by a force beyond her control, she found herself walking toward the water, her feet stepping lightly onto the surface as if it were solid ground. She entered the castle, its crystal doors parting for her as if they had been expecting her all along. Inside, the air was cool and filled with the soft sound of water trickling through hidden streams. A grand hall stretched before her, and at its center stood a magnificent throne carved from pure sapphire. Seated upon it was a figure cloaked in robes of silver mist, their face obscured but their presence commanding. "You are the chosen one," Ilera the figure spoke, their voice resonating like the gentle waves of the lake. "The guardian of this castle, and of the magic that flows through Acaria. You must protect the balance of this land, for the waters are more than they seem. They hold the power of life, of creation, and of dreams." Ilera, though frightened, felt a deep connection to the castle and the lake. "What must I do?" she asked. "The waters will guide you," the figure said, rising from the throne. "But beware, for there are forces that seek to claim this magic for themselves. The Castle of Crescent Waters is the first, but more will rise. And with them, challenges you cannot yet foresee." And with that, the figure vanished, leaving Ilera alone in the grand hall. Chapter 2: The Guardian's Journey. Over time, Ilera came to understand her new role as the guardian of the Crescent Castle. The castle itself was alive, responding to her thoughts and emotions. The walls whispered ancient secrets, and the waters around the castle granted her visions of distant lands and times. She learned that Acaria was not the only place where castles rose from the water, there were many more, scattered across the land, each with its own unique magic. One day, as Ilera explored the castle, she discovered a hidden chamber deep beneath its surface. The room was filled with glowing orbs of light, each one representing a different body of water in Acaria. When she touched one of the orbs, it shimmered and revealed the image of a distant lake surrounded by dark forests. This was the Obsidian Lake, known for its inky black waters that never reflected the sky. Legends spoke of a castle that had once risen from its depths but had fallen into ruin long ago. Ilera knew that this was where she must go next. With the help of the magic of the Crescent Castle, Ilera summoned a boat made of shimmering water, which carried her across the seas of Acaria. Her journey took her to strange and wondrous places, past floating islands where the wind sang melodies, through forests where the trees glowed with an inner light, and across rivers that flowed with liquid gold. At last, she arrived at Obsidian Lake. Its surface was as dark and still as midnight, and no sign of life could be seen around its shores. But as Illyria approached, the waters began to churn. Slowly, from the depths, a broken tower emerged, followed by jagged walls of black stone. The ruins of the obsidian castle stood before her, crumbling and weathered by time. Yet, Illyria sensed that something powerful still lingered here, hidden within the dark waters. Chapter 3: The Rise of the Obsidian Castle. As Illyria stepped closer, a voice echoed from the ruins, a deep, rumbling voice that seemed to come from the lake itself. Who dares disturb the silence of the Obsidian Castle? Illyria stood her ground. I am Illyria, guardian of the castle of Crescent Waters. I seek the magic of this place, to restore balance to Acaria. The waters of the lake began to swirl, and from the depths, a massive figure rose, a creature made of shadow and stone, with eyes that glowed like molten lava. It was the guardian of the Obsidian Castle, long forgotten and trapped beneath the surface. You are brave, young guardian, the creature said. But this place has been cursed for centuries. The magic here is tainted, and the castle cannot rise again unless the curse is broken. Illyria knew that she must help. Drawing upon the magic of the Crescent Castle, she called forth the waters of the lake, commanding them to cleanse the darkness. The waters surged, shimmering with silver light, and the ruins of the Obsidian Castle began to repair themselves. The broken towers rose higher, the walls rebuilt themselves, and soon, the castle stood whole once more, its dark stone gleaming under the moonlight. The guardian, now freed from its curse, bowed to Illyria. You have restored the Obsidian Castle, and with it, the magic of this lake. But beware, greater challenges lie ahead. There are other castles in Acaria, each with its own guardian. And not all of them will welcome you. Illyria nodded, understanding that her journey had only just begun. Chapter 4: The Castles of Acaria. With the Obsidian Castle restored, Illyria set out on a new quest, to find and awaken the other castles of Acaria. Each lake, sea, and river held its own mysteries, and each castle was guarded by powerful forces, both benevolent and malevolent. There was the Castle of Shimmering Waves, which rose from the azure seas, its walls made of pure light that danced on the water's surface. Its guardian was a being of pure energy, whose power rivaled even the stars. Then there was the Emerald Fortress, nestled in the heart of a lush jungle, where vines and flowers entwined with the castle's green stone walls. Its guardian was a spirit of nature, who commanded the forces of growth and decay. And in the frozen north, beyond the icy waters of the Frostbit Lake, stood the Crystal Citadel, its spires made of gleaming ice. The guardian there was a fearsome ice dragon, whose breath could freeze entire oceans. As Illyria journeyed through Acaria, she uncovered ancient prophecies that foretold of a great convergence, the day when all the castles of Acaria would rise together, their magic united to protect the land from an ancient evil that slumbered beneath the deepest ocean. But that day was still far off. For now, Illyria's journey was just beginning, and with each new castle she restored, her connection to the magic of Acaria deepened. To be continued. Thus begins the epic tale of Illyria, the guardian of Acaria, and her quest to awaken the enchanted castles that rose from the waters. Each chapter brings her closer to unraveling the mysteries of her magical land, but also reveals new dangers and challenges. The castles, the waters, and the very land itself pulse with ancient magic, and Illyria is the key to unlocking their full potential. But will she be ready when the time comes to face the ancient evil that threatens all of Acharia? Only time will tell. Chapter 5, The Enchanted Isle of Golden Tides. After restoring the Obsidian Castle and awakening its ancient powers, Ilaria knew her journey across Acharia was far from over. Each newly discovered castle held a different piece of the grand puzzle of magic that sustained this mystical land. She had seen visions of other castles, shimmering on the horizon of her dreams, calling her to uncover their secrets. Her next destination lay hidden within the mysterious Golden Tides, a remote region that appeared on no map and was spoken of only in legends. The legend of the Golden Tides whispered of an island that emerged only when the moon was at its highest point. There, a castle of pure gold would rise from the depths, surrounded by waters that sparkled with the light of 1,000 suns. This enchanted island, they said, was home to a guardian unlike any other, one whose powers could command both the tides and the very flow of time. And so, with determination in her heart, Ilaria set her sights on the legendary castle of Golden Tides. The journey to the Golden Tides. Ilaria called upon the magic of the silver waters, summoning her enchanted boat once again. As she sailed, the waters of Acharia shimmered beneath her, reflecting the endless expanse of sky above. She passed through crystalline rivers, over bright lagoons where the fish glowed with their own light, and across deep, still lakes that seemed to hold the memory of ancient times. For days, she journeyed through the wild and wondrous lands of Acharia, following the signs left by the silver waters. Strange and magical creatures watched her from the shores, water sprites, glimmering fish with wings like dragonflies, and elusive sea serpents whose bodies rippled beneath the waves. But none dared to hinder her path, as though the very land respected the purpose of her quest. At last, on the 7th night of her journey, when the moon was full and glowing like a lantern in the sky, the Golden Tides appeared before her. The ocean waters here were unlike anything she had ever seen. Each wave glistened with threads of gold, and the tides themselves seemed to pulse with a rhythm that echoed deep within her soul. In the center of these shimmering waters, an island slowly emerged. It was small at first, barely more than a sandbank, but as the tides receded, the island grew larger, its shores glittering with gold dust. Finally, from the depths of the water, the castle of Golden Tides began to rise. Towering spires of pure gold pierced the sky, each one glinting in the moonlight. The walls of the castle shimmered with magical energy, and its gates, encrusted with sparkling jewels, swung open, as though welcoming her arrival. Ilaria stepped onto the golden shores, her heart pounding with anticipation. She knew the power of this castle could be the key to uniting the magic of Acharia, but she also knew the guardian of this place would test her like never before. The guardian of Golden Tides. As she approached the entrance to the castle, the golden sand beneath her feet began to stir. Slowly, the ground parted, and from the very heart of the island emerged the guardian of the Golden Tides. He was a towering figure, with skin that gleamed like molten gold and eyes that shone with the light of ancient stars. His hair flowed like liquid gold, and he was draped in a robe woven from the very tides themselves, shifting and swirling as though alive. "I am Aurelios, guardian of the Golden Tides," he said, his voice resonating like the crashing of distant waves. "You, Ilaria of the Silver Waters, have come seeking the magic of this place. But to claim it, you must prove yourself worthy." Ilaria took a step forward, unafraid. "I have restored the Obsidian Castle and freed it from its curse. I am the chosen guardian of the Silver Waters, and I seek to unite the castles of Acharia to restore balance to this land." Aurelios regarded her with a thoughtful gaze. "The magic of the Golden Tides is not easily given. It is bound to the tides of time, which flow ever forward, never ceasing. To claim this power, you must pass through the trial of the eternal tides, a trial that will test your heart, your mind, and your spirit. Illyria nodded. I am ready. Aurelios raised his hand, and the castle gates behind him swung wide open. Then enter, he said. And face the tides. The trial of the eternal tides. As Illyria stepped inside the castle, she was immediately enveloped by a soft, golden light. The walls shimmered like liquid gold, and the air hummed with ancient magic. At the center of the grand hall stood a massive pool of water, its surface perfectly still, reflecting the stars above. This, she knew, was the heart of the golden tides. Suddenly, the water began to ripple, and from its depths emerged three figures, each one an exact reflection of Illyria, but with subtle differences. One wore a crown of stars and carried a staff of light, her eyes shone with wisdom. Another was draped in a cloak of silver mist, her hair flowing like the wind, and her movements were swift and graceful. The third had eyes like the depths of the ocean, dark and unfathomable, and her presence was calm and steady. These are the tides of time, Aurelios' voice echoed through the hall. Each represents a different aspect of time, past, present, and future. To pass the trial, you must understand them, for only by embracing all three can you command the power of the golden tides. The first figure, the tide of the past, stepped forward. The past is a shadow that shapes the present. Tell me, Illyria, what do you carry from your past that defines who you are today? Illyria thought of her home by the Silver Lake, the life she had known before the magic awakened within her. She thought of her family, the simple joys of the village, and the moment when the Silver Castle had called her. I carry the love of my home, she said. And the duty to protect the magic that sustains our world. My past is what gave me the strength to become the guardian I am now. The figure nodded, satisfied, and faded back into the pool. The second figure, the tide of the present, approached next. The present is fleeting, but it is the only moment we truly have. What will you do in this moment to ensure the future you seek? Illyria looked around the shimmering hall, her resolve hardening. I will unite the magic of Acaria. I will face any challenge, endure any trial, to restore balance to our world. And in this moment, I choose to stand firm in my purpose. The second figure smiled, her form dissolving back into the golden water. Finally, the tide of the future stepped forward. The future is unknown, but it is shaped by every choice we make. What do you fear most about the future, Illyria? For a moment, Illyria was silent. She had faced many dangers on her journey, but the future was something no one could control. I fear losing the people I care about, she admitted. I fear that, in the pursuit of my duty, I may become something I don't recognize. But I will not let that fear stop me. The future is built on the choices I make now, and I choose to move forward with hope. The third figure nodded, her dark eyes reflecting the deep waters of the unknown, and with that, she, too, faded into the pool. The power of the golden tides. As the last figure disappeared, the entire castle trembled, and the waters of the pool began to swirl. Aurelios stepped forward, his golden form glowing brighter than ever. You have passed the trial of the eternal tides, Illyria. You have shown understanding of the past, commitment to the present, and courage for the future. The power of the golden tides is now yours to command. With a wave of his hand, the pool erupted in a burst of golden light, and from its depths, a magnificent artifact rose, a golden hourglass, its sands shimmering with magical energy. This hourglass controls the flow of time itself, Aurelios said. With it, you can harness the power of the tides to bend time to your will. But be warned, such power comes with great responsibility. Use it wisely. Illyria took the hourglass, feeling the weight of its magic in her hands. She knew this was only the beginning of a new chapter in her journey. With the power of the Golden Tides, she was one step closer to uniting the castles of Acaria and restoring balance to the land. But the road ahead was long, and many challenges still awaited her. As she left the castle of Golden Tides, the golden waters of the ocean sparkled in the moonlight, and the island slowly sank back beneath the waves, waiting for the next time it would rise again. Illyria sailed on, her heart filled with hope, her mind focused on the future, and the magic of Acaria flowing through her veins. Chapter 6: The Sapphire Isle of Forgotten Dreams. After passing the trial of eternal tides and gaining the power of the Golden Tides, Illyria's journey through Acaria had entered a new phase. With each castle she restored, she unlocked a piece of the forgotten magic that once sustained the magical land. The stars seemed brighter, and the waters of the silver lakes rippled with an ancient harmony she had begun to understand. Yet, as each chapter of her adventure closed, new mysteries arose from the depths. Now, in her dreams, another castle called to her, this time from the deepest recesses of the ocean. This castle did not rise from the waters in a spectacle of light and magic like the others. It lay submerged beneath the surface of a lost island, the Sapphire Isle of Forgotten Dreams. It was said to hold the secrets of memories long past and dreams never realized, locked away in sapphire vaults deep beneath the sea. Few had ever heard of the isle, and fewer still dared to seek it, for legends claimed that only those with an unbreakable resolve could face the isle's most challenging trials. Illyria knew it was her next destination. The Golden Tides had whispered to her, revealing the location of the Sapphire Isle. Armed with her newfound knowledge and the magic of the golden and silver waters, she prepared herself for a journey that would take her to the darkest depths of Acaria. The journey beneath. Illyria summoned her enchanted vessel once more, the light of the silver waters shimmering along its elegant form. As she set sail, the waters began to change, growing darker and more mysterious. The soft glow of her boat was the only light that pierced the gloom, but even this dimmed as she ventured farther from the surface. The journey to the Sapphire Isle was unlike any she had experienced before. As she sailed deeper into the heart of the ocean, the air itself seemed to thicken with a heavy stillness, as if the entire world had fallen into a deep, dreamlike slumber. Around her, strange shapes moved just beyond the range of her vision, shadowy figures that might have been illusions or forgotten dreams themselves. She couldn't tell. Finally, after what felt like days of sailing through the deep, Illyria's boat slowed, and a massive structure emerged from the shadows ahead. The Sapphire Isle rose before her, but it was unlike any island she had seen. No towering cliffs or lush forests graced its shores. Instead, the entire island was submerged, shimmering beneath the surface of the water. Above it, a faint blue glow radiated, casting eerie reflections on the ocean's surface. Her heart quickened as she realized the full magnitude of what lay before her. The Sapphire Castle, a magnificent structure of pure sapphire stone, lay sunken beneath the island's surface. Its towering spires and intricate archways were barely visible through the depths, but they pulsed with a quiet, ancient power. Without hesitation, Illyria dived into the water, her body cutting through the dark waves as she swam toward the castle's entrance. As she descended deeper into the water, her mind began to blur. Strange visions filled her thoughts, fleeting memories of lives she had never lived, dreams that felt both familiar and foreign. The magic of the Sapphire Isle was already at work. The Castle of Forgotten Dreams. Illyria touched down at the entrance of the Sapphire Castle, her boots sinking into the soft sand that coated the ocean floor. The massive doors of the castle, carved from sapphire and etched with ancient runes, loomed before her. She reached out, her fingers brushing against the cool stone. At her touch, the doors shuddered and slowly opened, revealing a vast, dreamlike hall bathed in soft blue light. Inside, the castle was eerily silent. The walls glistened with the glow of sapphire, and the air felt thick with the weight of countless forgotten memories. Floating orbs of blue light hovered in the air, flickering like the dying remnants of old dreams. As Illyria stepped forward, her footsteps echoed faintly, and she felt a strange pull in the back of her mind, as if the very castle itself was reaching into her memories. Suddenly, a soft voice echoed through the hall, low and haunting. "You who seek the power of the Sapphire Isle, know this, the dreams forgotten here are not lost without reason. To reclaim them is to face the truths of your own heart, and not all dreams should be remembered." Illyria's breath caught in her throat. She had expected a trial, but not one that would test her own memories. Steeling herself, she pressed on, determined to face whatever challenge lay ahead. As she ventured deeper into the castle, the hallways seemed to twist and shift around her. Doors opened and closed, revealing glimpses of forgotten moments from other lives, strangers' faces, strange lands, long-lost loves and sorrows. Some memories were beautiful, others filled with despair, but all of them tugged at her, urging her to linger and lose herself in their stories. But Illyria remained focused, resisting the temptation to explore these forgotten dreams. She knew her goal lay deeper within the castle, at the heart of the Sapphire Isle. The Chamber of Lost Dreams. Finally, after what felt like an eternity of wandering through the shifting halls, Illyria came upon a massive chamber, its ceiling rising high above her, supported by grand sapphire columns. At the center of the room stood an altar, upon which rested a large crystal globe, glowing faintly with a pulsating blue light. This, she knew, was the heart of forgotten dreams, the source of the castle's magic and the key to unlocking the memories sealed within the Sapphire Isle. But as she approached the altar, a figure appeared before her. A woman, draped in shimmering blue robes and crowned with a tiara of sapphire, stood in her path. Her eyes glowed with the same blue light as the heart of forgotten dreams, and her expression was sorrowful. "I am Ariana, the keeper of the forgotten dreams," the woman said, her voice soft but commanding. "You have come seeking the magic of the Sapphire Isle, but before you can claim it, you must face what you have forgotten." Illyria frowned. "But I have not forgotten anything." Ariana's gaze softened. "We all forget, Illyria. Sometimes we forget because we wish to, other times because we must. But here, in this place, you will be forced to remember." With a wave of her hand, Ariana summoned a swirling mist that filled the chamber. From within the mist, shapes began to form, memories, not from other lives or dreams, but from Illyria's own past. Her childhood home appeared before her, the faces of her family, the familiar laughter of her youth. But then, darker memories began to surface, moments of doubt, of fear, of mistakes she had tried to bury deep within her heart. Illyria watched as scenes from her life played out before her. She saw the day she left her home, filled with the determination to protect Acaria, but also the fear of never seeing her family again. She saw the moment she first encountered the magic of the Silver Waters, the overwhelming sense of responsibility that came with it. And she saw the faces of those she had lost along the way, friends and allies who had fallen during her journey. Tears welled in her eyes as the memories washed over her, but she did not look away. This was her past, her forgotten dreams and unspoken fears. She had come too far to turn back now. "I remember," she whispered, her voice steady. "I remember everything." Ariana smiled, her sorrowful expression softening. "Then you are ready." With another wave of her hand, the mist cleared, and the heart of forgotten dreams began to glow brighter. Illyria stepped forward and placed her hands on the crystal globe. As she did, a surge of magic coursed through her, filling her with the power of forgotten dreams. The Sapphire Isle's magic was hers. A new awakening. As the magic of the Sapphire Isle flowed through her, Illyria felt a deep sense of peace. The weight of her forgotten memories lifted, replaced by a newfound clarity. She understood now that her journey was not just about restoring the castles of Acaria, but about restoring herself, about reclaiming the parts of her soul she had lost along the way. With the heart of forgotten dreams in her possession, Illyria left the Sapphire Isle, its mysteries no longer hidden to her. She had faced the past and emerged stronger for it. The ocean's surface shimmered as she sailed back toward the Silver Lakes, the light of the stars reflecting off the water like a promise of new adventures yet to come. But even as she sailed away, Illyria knew that her journey was far from over. More castles awaited, each with their own trials, their own magic, and their own secrets. And with each step forward, she would continue to grow, to remember, and to dream. The Sapphire Isle had taught her that dreams, even forgotten ones, held the key to the future.